Hello everyone and welcome to CWC Round 16 Season 6 of Tier 2 or F2. I am Pepsi Freak 2 and 2 and I am not here alone today. As you'll hear an echo there, Evil Dragon has finally decided to rejoin me here today. So Evil, say hello.
Hello. No, that's hola. That's the one. We're in Mexico. We're not in Germany.
Please
I'm
don't
back.
please don't try to get us canceled on your way back here.
Well, I'm back, of course. Beautiful Mexico City, of course. First hosted a race back in the 1960s. Came back, of course, in 2015. I returned today after absence for reasons. But good news, Pepsi. We've got 17 drivers and a lot of action, presumably, to come ahead of us.
Yeah, I gotta get used to having a co-commentator back, because this is the first race in a couple rounds, so I have to remember to give you some time to talk, because normally before it was just a one-man show, so now, as John Hader has served his quali ban after last week, so he will be, that's why he retired. But again, it's good to have you back, and hopefully we can have a nice, good race here today, and at the Circuit of Mexico.
Most certainly so. In the Circuit de Autodromo de Mexico, of course, Leonardo Rodriguez, as it's most commonly known, which I can pronounce correctly, which is a rareness, because normally I can't pronounce foreign words, but for once I can. But of course, we've got a lot of drivers on the circuit. The first out on the beautiful track, it might well be Malik in the Racing Point.
No, it's actually going to be Charlie. Charlie, the driver that was here for the first half of the season and sadly had to step away. Now back here for the final couple rounds on part-time status. Sadly, he will not be making a championship run because too little too late, but he's here to at least try to set up a good season possibly for the next season. But he's about to start his lap here in Mexico. So, Liam, I'll let you do the honors since you are back here. So let's let you do a track guide here.
Excellent. A circuit which I have no idea about, apart from the fact the last corner got butchered in the 90s. Well, of course, we're coming down towards turn number one. One of the longest, if not, well, definitely the longest run into turn one on the calendar. Late breaking it down into about third gear. Down in the second right now to get the front end turned, up to third on the exit. Little K normally very easy to invalidate a lap on. He's done that absolutely fine. Then down where the second DRS zone on 3 on this circuit. This where, of course, we saw Sebastian Vettel getting backed up into Daniel Ricciardo by Max Verstappen in 2015 or 16, one of the two of them. Into this tricky Mickey Mouse section here, the double right-hander at the top of the circuit before heading back down into the swooping S sections around this fantastic circuit. Been here, of course, since it debuted in the olden days as a part of the circuit. Of course, luckily, the curbs aren't there like they used to be. They're slowly stepping out through the exit of the last bit, as now we head down into the stadium section. The old circuit used to go straight on there into pretty much almost a banked corner nearly around the back of the circuit. We go through this little stadium section through the back of here. Take a right-hander, of course, onto what is the old part of the circuit right now, the last corner. Nice slow line up to the line, the racing line right there, and across the line right now. And it is a 1:15.040, the top of the standings.
Yep, Malik, the Ferrari of Beat by Vegan, and the McLaren of, I think that is Clown, are about to cross the line here. So we'll see. Actually, I think Beat by Vegan pulled in. It was Demo, my mistake. He does a 1:16.81, and Malik does a 1:25.123, and Trope goes 1:16.047. So, and King now goes 1:15.564. So Charlie showing there's not that much ring rust here. He is on a wheel this time. Previously, he was driving on a pad, I believe. So now showing that he's still got something because he's able to put a good lap on King. But King did set his time on mediums, though. So it is worth noting, along with Trope, as now Mays goes top of the grid with a 1:14.559. So hold your horses, Charlie. I thought that was a fast lap, but I guess it was not because Mays just smoked it out of the water.
Yeah, Mays left quicker already than a 1:14.5. A 5 and a 4, slightly different. One's lower than the other one. But 14.5, a half a second quicker than Mr. Charlie Chapley Boiler in second position. TKM King in third, ahead of Smitty in fourth. Sean in fifth, ahead of Connor and Demo, 6th and 7. 11 is 8th. Malik currently 9th position so far. Matty on the lap. We've got Lesty on the lap. We've got Bavetia also on a lap. And we've also got Babel J on a lap as well. Both of those drivers at the beginning of a lap. So the next to cross the line in terms of a lap,
I think that maybe Malik. No, Malik just improved. So Malik actually did a 1:15.5. Then we got the next McLaren of Connor, a Demo. My mistake. I think he just did improve as well. And then we got Maddie as well. So you are correct. I think that is Maddie because, well, we do actually have, I think, Maze out there as well. No, that could be the Red Bull. Is that Twig? No, that is Maddie.
Maddie going purple in Sector 2, Pepsi. So this looks like a decent lap time. Now, we can't guarantee it is actually purple. We know that the game sometimes is a little bit lying in terms of its purple sectors. But this is certainly looking like it could be a decent lap. Bit squiggly on the rear end of the last corner. Takes a nice shallow line to the line.
Ooh, a 1:15.079.
1:15.079 then. So he slots himself P3 by some couple thousandths of a second. Through the last corner comes the Williams pair. They both bailed out into the pit lane. They were on medium tyres.
He did invalidate. I was going to point out he had to invalidate along with Babu J. So both of them did invalidate their laps. That's why they're pulling in on a set of mediums. Maybe did not feel comfortable with the car in question. Lesty up next. Lesty going to do a 1:16.002 on mediums. So Lesty is the fastest of the medium runners currently. Actually, no, fastest runner is King, my mistake, because I think he's actually put on a set of softs in pit lane. Then the fast runner, then is Lesty, then Trape. So it looks like the softs, probably they're going to have to switch to a set of softs because, at least looking at it, considering the top four have all set on softs and have clearly paced King, King is going to have to switch tires. And something else that just caught my eye, Malik actually tied King.
Well, they certainly did, Len. So 1:15.564. Very impressive. You don't often see that there is beat by Mr. Vegan across the line there. Of course, we believe, has he had got a quality ban, or is that John Hader?
No, that was John Hader. John Hader has the quality ban. Beat by Vegan is actually
Vegan
starting his time. No, he's actually starting his lap now, so I think that was his first lap, but he's actually on I think that was just his out lap, because he is good to go right now as we speak. But as we wait for some time to be set here, I guess we will give you a quick standings update here. Right now, the gap between the top two, between King and Reds, who Reds is still not got on a pit lane yet, is currently, actually, Reds actually leads pit lane right now on a set of softs. But the gap between the two of them is currently 16 points. So King cannot clinch the championship here today in Mexico, but he can put himself in good position going into Brazil if he can keep the gap nice and wide. Well, Reds has put some hours into the track. He said he's put about 4 hours, so hopefully he can kind of set a good time here. As for the constructors, Bezier's here today, King's here today, Scanny and Kenobi are not here, but Babu J has actually subbed in for the Williams. So Williams currently leads the constructors by about 30 points, and with 2 drivers for Williams instead of 1 for Alfa Romeo, it's highly likely that Williams will at least extend their gap unless catastrophic performance by Williams here today.
Yeah, B-Boy Vegan invalidated his lap time then, so that is the end of this first run, though he's going to stay out a little longer. I thought for a second he was going to peel off into the pit barrier then, but decided to carry on going around. He's going to go for a second flying lap. He has saved enough ERS to be able to do it, but those tyres will not be best neck. Luckily, we've still got over 10 minutes to go here in qualification, so plenty of time to get back into the pit lane if they decide to bail out of this lap and get a new set of tyres on. Meanwhile, Charlie Chaplin, or Chaplin, or however he's actually pronounced his, I still can't pronounce his name.
I think it's called on. I think it's called on, but we'll just call him Charlie regardless. But I do want to point out right now, King is on a flyer right now. He does have a little bit of traffic. He's in that little pile with Beat by a Vegan. And I believe that is Bezier. No, yeah, it is Bezier just behind him. So he's got a little bit of traffic, and that did kind of impede him in Sector 1. So we'll see where his time slots in. But we know King is a very fast driver, so it'll be interesting to see how he puts on a time. Because we do have a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that is just the car going slow. I think that is the Williams letting people go. They try to get a good run. That is Bezier letting people go.
Yeah, let's see then. Second split, 7/10 of a second quicker then. So obviously if it impeded him in the first sector, it's certainly nothing's impeding him in the second sector. Has the Ferrari or Beat by a Vegan just slightly ahead of him? Hopefully he is not going to be holding him up too much. Indeed a bit squiggly as he comes into the pit lane. Let's see TTGaming King aiming for pole position.
Ooh,
well, certainly
that's a pole run.
smashes pole position by just a tenth of a second then. So up to P1 for the King then. And he is top of the world, he is king of the table, but he's got a lot of hungry old wily foxes behind him. Yep. Speaking of what, we have got 11 on an outlap just coming out the pit behind as well. There's a few drivers starting to do their second or third run.
I hate to interrupt, but I just want to point out Reds is about to cross the line as well. His main championship driver is in Sector 3 right now. As Babu J actually does a pole lap with a 1:13.6. Oh my, that's a lap of a lap. We'll see where Red slots in a second here. He's going to be crossing the line. It looks like it's going to be a 1:14.2, and that will jump King. So King would have been on provisional pole if Jay decided not to set a lap that even has probably King and Reds both sweating.
Yeah, most certainly then. So the top two are already starting to show their pace and advantage potentially in this thing, though. Still got a while to go. We've got the best still yet to come. Meanwhile, down at 8th position, we got Malik up, improving by 3 or 4 attempts then in the second sector. So this could be good enough. A little bit wide like that on the exit of the thing. Yeah. Big snap of oversteer on the exit for good cause. Another one there on the last corner. So this looks like it might have cost him a little bit of time. Indeed, it did do so. Lost him 2 attempts, so 115.4 would have probably maybe have just put him in P7 though. So about a 3-4 attempt gap indeed then between 7th and 8th. But up front, Babel J really showing his worth. About what is that? 0.6 of a second, give or take, between 1st and 2nd position.
100% indeed. I just shot. Jay is a really fast driver. We saw him at Spa, and that chaotic race in Spa. He was a very fast driver, and then he's kind of been on not been able to make a lot of races here. But he is a very fast driver, so he's always a threat. And with Big Boy Juan showing up here last week, and Charlie and King also coming back for the tail end of the season, it's very interesting to see a lot of the drivers that were fast kind of had to do some other stuff, and now they're back here. It's going to get very more of a bloodbath, which is something Reds probably doesn't want to see, because Reds, I was not going to say had an easy path to championship, but with King not being MIA, allowed him to get a lot of points back, and now with the field getting a lot stronger, he needs good results. So if he wants that championship, he's going to have to earn it.
Yeah, most certainly. Indeed, it's going to be very tight to see who's going to be doing what. Everyone's just starting their laps, so we'll run on board then with 11.
Oh, Bezier.
Yeah, Bezier did just
cut that
something.
Corner. Yeah, he just cut that corner by a mile there. He's really struggling here at Mexico to set a good time. He's done 4 laps so far, and every lap has been invalidated, so he's really having issues getting in turn with the circuit. And I've seen that kind of the past couple weeks. He's someone that really kind of struggles putting on a good time in quali, so maybe a little bit of ring rust, maybe not feeling as comfortable in Mexico, maybe this is just a bad part of the calendar. But we know Bezier is pretty fast, and if he's starting in the back, he's someone that's going to try to carve his way up through the field with piss, fire, and anger. So we'll have to see how he does if he does start in the back, how fast he can try to work his way up the field. With Maddie, Trape, and Connor all going back out, and we know Trape set his time on medium, so now he's on a set of softs. So let's see where he slots in.
Yeah, Manilo, he's currently on a lap in the Haas car lane, purple second sector, so everyone's starting to find improvements right now, though it doesn't look like it was the quickest time for the first sector. Let's see what he can do through the last couple of corners. Looks reasonably smooth right there on top of the Haas through the last corner. Nice and smooth here. Now take the most shallow line you can to the line, and let's see, does he improve? He does, but not by the margin which I thought he could have been, despite going purple in sector 2. That's what I was talking about, that it might say you're purple, but you might not entirely be the entire purple lap time you are thinking. Looking through the rest of the field, who's next to start a lap? It might be Siran then in 10th position.
Yeah, I do want to point out, I will give Lesty a little tip here. He did say in the comments if you should hold out for those mediums. Right now, we know Trape is going to improve, and if Bezier improves, you'll fall down to 11th. So if Bezier can put a lap down, he will bump you out along with Trape. So if Lesty is listening, I'd probably go out there and put a lap down, because I feel like there's at least 2 drivers in that bottom half behind you. Actually, because Trape's already in the top 10, so that would put you to 10th, and then Bezier would bump you out. So yeah, I'd go out there on a lap, but that's what I would personally be doing. That would be a Pepsi tip from the Pepsi the engineer. But anyway, continuing on here, we do got a couple drivers setting times as well. Beat by Vegans out on a lap, Demo as well, and we also got the Haas driver. I'll let you if you got anything to note, Dragon, because I was kind of lost in a tangent there.
Yeah, Demo's getting absolutely held up by a vegan there, and contact or something, whatever that was then, and I'm Matty, 5th place grid penalty with a collision beat by a vegan. What on earth just happened down there into the back of the circuit? One was trying to get out of the way, and beat by a vegan either. Well, I'm not quite sure what just happened there. Demo up into a 9th position then, so he might have got held up a little bit there in the second sector. He probably got a nice view of that, but I'm not quite sure what I just saw. But Matty either trying to get out the way or beat by a vegan just mistimed that, running straight into the back of the Haas driver.
I think what happened was Matty was going to pull away and take the escape route. Trape's now up to 5th. And then I think Vegan tried to do the same thing, and I think Vegan may have misjudged his braking points, and that's, I think, what happened there. So I think that may have just been kind of a driver error, or 2 drivers tried to get out of the way because we knew, but Matty was on a lap, so maybe he decided just to say, I don't feel comfortable, or maybe he locked it up, and then Vegan pulled out of the way. I'm not 100%, but both drivers tried to go for real estate that didn't exist. And, yeah, that's a little bit of egg on the face for both drivers. But with 3 minutes to go, they're going to have to limp around quickly to get a lap down again if they want one.
Perhaps, yeah, meanwhile, or Kieran, one of the two might be correct. We'll figure it out as we go. But currently up into P5, Pepsi, so on the soft tyres then. Decided to bail out. That means only got one driver on the mediums. That's Lesty the Twiggy down in 11th. We've got Bevezia down in 17th, of course. So everyone now on soft compound tyres, all trying to go for that elusive pole position.
Well, Lesty's now going out on a set of softs, if I'm not mistaken. I just saw a Red Bull, I think, leave the garage. Yep, he is. So he's going out there. So no driver will be starting on mediums inside the top 10. But, yeah, with King going out there trying to improve, Maze as well going out there as well. A lot of drivers are going for a death run in qualifying. The only driver I don't think may not head out is Jay, because I think Jay feels pretty confident in that lap. But even though there's no points for pole position, Reds definitely wants to put a good cap on the weekend, because after last week that happened in the United States, he's looking for a better performance here today.
Yeah, meanwhile, next drive to cross the line will be Ellie down in 15th position then. So the Mercedes drive a little bit squiggly again on the rear end. That last code proving to be deceivingly hard. 17.2 slots herself, just over 2 and a bit temps behind her teammate 11, who's currently in 13th position, 2 positions off of 11th of Lesty.
Yep, indeed. Now Smitty's coming in. I think he may have ran out of fuel, so he's not going to have enough time doing a lap. So that is it for the Haas driver. It's run over for him. Then we got a big train of cars here. We got Maze as well, currently going through Sector 3 here. I think he'll be the first one of the outlap runners to set a time, then followed by King and Reds. So I have to keep an eye on all those 3 times. So the minute 35, this is put up, shut up. This is your last chance to set a lap.
Yep, Jay on circuit as well, then. So I'm wondering if he's trying to find his teammate somewhere, because it's going to be he should easily be able to get a lap in, but he's just come out very acute, and he's got a lot of traffic in front of him right now. He's got Bevezia, his teammate, to be fair, speaking of the devil, right in front of him. I'm wondering if these two are trying to give each other a tow down the straight, try and get Bevezia up the order on those soft compound tyres. That is going to be quite interesting to see indeed. Red's currently on a lap right now in the Renault. TTM King on a lap, up by 1/10.5 in Sector 1. Maze also looked like he was up in Sector 1 as well. So a few drivers up on a lap, but Maze will be the first real top runner to cross the line, Pepsi, in just a few moments' time.
Yep, indeed. Maze will be the first one in the runs. He may actually have a chance to do a second lap here. I think he'll have enough time to do a second lap along with King. So we'll have to see where they slot in. Maze, we'll see at the end of Sector 2 here. He's up by only 1/10 of a second, so he doesn't have a pole run in, but he could jump King. But I know King is probably up on his times as well. So both drivers are up in retrospect. So it'll be interesting to see where they slot in on times. We got 23 seconds to go here. Maze and King will definitely have a run. It looks like Malik may accidentally kind of hinder Maze here on his exit. We'll see where he slots in. It's going to be a 1:14.3. That will prove him the P3. King up next. King going to jump the P2 and jump Reds. Reds coming out of the last corner as well. Reds is bailing on his lap. So Reds probably did not feel comfortable in that time and did not want to set another lap. So Reds will not improve, and that's qualifying over for Reds. Next up, we got Lesty because the car is around. That is Maddie, who's locked it the wrong way around. Lesty going to cross the line. Resty improved, but not enough. You think he validated, so that will not be enough to jump him out of the top 13.
And we have had an incident, Jay, pointing the wrong way at turn 2. We've got a house of Matty also off down there as well. I'm wondering, potentially, was there some contact? I'm not quite sure, but Jay out of qualifying as well. He's comfortable on pole position, however. Bevezia will be the real look at here. He's down the back. What can he do in the other Williams? He's getting a bit of a tow there will be by Vegan, who's all been sorts of bother right now as he just about gets out of the way this time. Bevezia needs to get a lap in right at the death of the session. Well, he's got to aim for a top 10.
Demo to 6. Here comes Bezier. He's
6.
Kept it clean.
Bevezia.
And it's going to be a P4, so that will bump up to the 4th. So we know Bezier has the speed, and he waited to the death to qualify to set it, and that will be done for him. Maddie spun out, so Maddie's run is over, and that will probably be the end of qualifying. So Jay, even though he had a little bit of probably an improvement moment, he still is well over half a second up on the field. King, the championship points leaders in 2nd, Reds in 3rd, Bezier in 4th, and Maze will round out your top 5. So very interesting to see your top 5 here. Williams, even without Kenobi here today, still showing us strong performance here.
Yeah, indeed, incredible pace then from your top guys. So that's Babel J on pole position from TTM King in 2nd, Reg in 3rd, Bevezia in 4th. ahead of Maze in 5th, Xian in 6th, Demo ahead of Charlie in 7th and 8th, Matty and Smitty line up in 9th and 10th, Malik and Connor 11th and 12th, the Mercedes in 13th, Lesty in 14th, Ellie in 15th. Both of the Ferrari drivers, if I'm not too mistaken,
correct,
16th and 17th respectively.
Correct indeed here. And Lesty's kicking himself in the chat right now, saying, why is me? I did a Botas. So he'll be starting in P14. But hey, no pressure on him because he's starting so far back. Anything but up. So keep your foot down and that'll be good. But yeah, Jay come back after, I think he was in Spa. I think he did one other race in between, but almost had a win in Spa. Had the pace, but the changing conditions really caught him out. So looking for his first win here today. King trying to extend his lead, and Red's trying to shrink the gap.
Yeah, most certainly indeed. So of course, 1-5 place position. That's for Matty, so he'll drop down to 15th-ish, give or take, because I have to count.
Give or take. But, math is not our strong suit. Neither of us in the booth, as we've seen during the commentary where we muck up laps. So math is not really the strong suit of us. But yeah, that is qualifying done.
Yeah, both for Ferraris, though, not setting a lap time. Now, crucially, it's all going to be about what is the weather going to be like for this afternoon. It could be wet. We've seen it before around Mexico. Now, if it is raining in Mexico, that's going to be very interesting indeed. We know how easy it is to make mistakes around it. However, luckily for us, it's nice and sunny, so looks like we might get away with it.
The God of Chaos was hoping for some rain because you know what I want to see? I want to see chaos. But sadly, that will not happen here today. It will be a nice sunny day, so no chaos here. Nothing can spice it up. Maybe some punctures or something? Come on, God of Chaos, give me something. But yeah. I think this will be a very interesting race here. Got a lot of hungry drivers trying to work their way up through the field, and it will be interesting to see in 20 seconds what people went on for tires.
Most certain indeed. So I imagine most of the entire top 10 most likely to start on soft. I potentially might see some medium runners down the back, of course. I would be surprised maybe we see one or two hard drivers going down for the back as well. So let's see if anyone decides to be a little bit hard down the rear. But up front, it looks like it's definitely going to be a nice soft start as we get underway for our formation lap. And Pepsi, you have something to say.
Yeah, I have to do this every week because if not, they take away my rations. But anyway, if you like what you see, why not like and subscribe to League Racing TV? There's multiple leagues that run through Mondays through Sundays. Actually, now there'll be a league possibly coming on Sundays, but Mondays through Saturdays right now with a new league showing up, which was the league LRTV or LR something. Someone will probably correct me in the chat, but they joined here. They race on 1:30 UK time. So if you want to watch that, there's a ton of other leagues as well. If you like the league as well, you're currently watching, you can follow them on Twitter at CWC F1, and yeah, I think that really plugs everything up there nice and tidily.
Most certainly indeed, Len. So Babel J on pole position. This is going to be the crucial thing down here, of course, into turn one. We know historically that Mexico, very easy to hold, hard to hold the lead down into turn one. We know how long the run is, about some 600 meters, give or take. Maybe about that, of course. Tyre strategy soft to lap 10 to 13, and then that to 21 to 24, or a double set, and then a set of hard tyres. In terms of those tyres, Pepsi, we were talking about it. So it's the top 9 on soft, Malik in 10th on a set of hards, Connor on soft, another 2 on mediums, and then we've only got one driver on the hard tyres. That's beat by Vegan down the back.
Yep, this is not as Demo gets qualified with Charlie on the formation. It looks like they may have made a touch there, and yeah, they're not going to sit on the naughty stool. But yeah, this is a track taken from personal experience. You cannot do a one-stop here. It has to be a two-stop. Your tires will not make it for a one-stop here unless you're very conservative. By that point, you sacrifice so much speed that it's not even worth it. But yeah, Malik gets kind of, because of the pedaling by the Haas, he's now in top 10, so he's the highest runner of the mediums. But other than that, Vegan did do hards last week, so he's going to try something kind of chaotic here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Jay and a few other drivers that maybe new along with Charlie and a few others can keep their wits on a qualifying run here.
Indeed, well, here we go then, lining up on the grid 2 by 2. It might be like Noah's Ark right now. I can certainly say these guys will probably be trying to bite their heads off potentially at the end of lap 1. We know how aggressive it can be into turn number 1 around this circuit. We know it's all about who leads into turn number 1 in Formula 1. but one driver can lead in one race, and this race, of course, being Mexico, and we have the second, we have the third, we got the fourth, when the fifth goes off, we will be racing, and most certainly we are. Lights out, and away we go then. Good start from Jay, good start from Reds behind, and look at Reds already trying to go on the outside, and Reds leads already. Stonking start then from the Renault driver, and he leads already into turn one, but now watch out for that slipstream, as here immediately Jay trying to come back down the inside into turn number one. Bit of a lock-up then for the Williams driver, as everyone behind slots
McLaren,
in through,
Mercedes
but Jay,
around.
Yeah, Mercedes around, but Jay back into the lead then. Straight away, the Alfa Romeo getting involved in this. Watch out for the other Williams as we come down to the bottom of the corner. Look at King now, already slithering up the inside. Has he broken too late, though? Yes, he has. And now a bit of contact between the pair of them as well on the exit. Jay forced out ride. King, very aggressive at the start of this race, and still side by side.
Jay's probably not happy about that.
Yeah, Jay's not going to be happy about that. Into the corner and into the kick. Still going
at
it,
my
side
God,
by side.
guys. It's lap one. You got to save something. Reds right now should be backing down because they are going to take each other to the woodshed, and you do not want to be involved in that when they accept crashing. Top five under a blanket here. You got Jay and King still side by side fighting here. Ken, as we got Mays passing Reds here. King going to go, goes a little bit too aggressive on the brakes. There goes Bezier trying to sneak it around the outside. Gets past the Williams, and now he's going to try to hang it around, do the switchback maneuver at the Williams. They collide, though. They're not technically teammates. One is a reserve driver, but probably not happy that he came in the seat and is getting kind of bullied there. And King will lead lap one, but Reds has
No, he's not, because Bevezier's got him immediately. Look at this. Bevezier straight up to the lead then in the start of the second lap. What a amazing start then. Already then. And immediately, here comes the Alfa Romeo then, slithering to the left, slithering to the right. He's going to go long way around then. Can he do it? Yes, he can then. Long way around the outside into turn number one. Amazing stuff as the Reds immediately try to slither on back on the outside as well. Look at this. 3-4 drivers battling away, and already I need a breather.
They touched. Williams touched with Jay and Reds touching to ignore the score time. This is for the lead here as Reds goes for a little aggressive lockup there. That's going to allow the Williams to try to stay on the inside here, and they are still side by side here. We'll cut on board here with Mays to see how they fight here, and Reds cannot catch a break. They're all under pressure. It looks like King is going to make out like a fan here. Pressure is gone, so now he can kind of set some laps down. Well, the rest of the field's going to slot. Now Jay's going to get ahead of Reds, and that could allow Mays to get on by, but Reds really cut that corner, so we definitely know he's at least got one warning added to his name, and you do not want to add too many of those because it's not good, because too many penalties and you'll be sitting down with 3 seconds. That will really hurt your championship. We got Trope back in 6th here. Looks like the field is now starting to get spaced out a little bit, but just to add insult to injury, as Charlie passes Vegan for 13th, DRS is now activated. It will not be activated on this straight, but we know on the next straight it will be, so this is going to be Chaos 101.
Yeah, most certainly so. Already on lap 2, onto lap 3 then, so TKM King has already got himself a second buffer. The Vezirlo was already making up a position or two at the start of this race. Demo, like I said, into the pits already then on lap number 2, so I'm wondering, is that for damage or a set of hard tyres?
He has damage.
Down the back. Yep, so presumably it'll be a set of hard tyres, I imagine, surely then for him. Let's see.
Jay already gets 3. Oh, yeah, he put on a set of softs, so I guess he's going for a 2-stop. I'm shocked he didn't go for something harder. But, yeah, Jay now gets 3 seconds, so he's the first one to get a penalty as Malik makes a pass on Chogdon. So Charlie knows a very fast driver, maybe just not feeling comfortable on that wheel yet, is falling through the order kind of quickly here. So kind of maybe needs to find his footing here. But he's got a couple more races here to try to figure that out. We got Smith and Connor battling for 9th and 8th here. Actually, I think the close battle's them, and Mays and Trope as well are kind of close as well. So we're going to keep an eye on both these here. But yeah, with now DRS activated, lots happening. But Bezier is kind of staying close to King. He's not letting King get too far away. It's kind of fluctuating between a second and under a second. So it'll be interesting to see how close he can stay.
Indeed, the two Williams getting a bit closer together. Oh,
there goes the oh no! Oh, there goes the McLaren. I was riding on board with Smitty there. The Mercedes of I think that is Connor, if I'm not mistaken, went very wide off the S section there, and he just lost it, came back forward, and there was nowhere to go for the Haas driver. And the Haas driver's race is done. Wheel off, tether gone. We'll see if that is a safety car or not, but there was just nowhere to go, and that is race over for the Haas driver.
Gobsmack, here goes the
but we got to pass for third.
Then.
Yep,
Jay then past Bevezia, the two teammates swapping around in. That looked very simple, to be fair, in the end then. DRS slithering past. Now it's all going to be about Bevezia. Is he going to try and come back then straight away on the exit of the corner? Slipstream, DRS, use the curves, but remember, it is a double toe length, so you get the DRS ones, you get the DRS tries, of course, because of how this circuit works. But like I said a few moments ago, contact, luckily, and I don't know quite how, no safety car, but Kinglow doesn't look like he's got almost pace right now because he's getting caught immediately by Jay and Bevezia. So this battle for the lead, most certainly, a long way from being over. But like I said, Pepsi, contact already. A hard hit on the wall, and it was one of those acute angled hits which would have most certainly hurt in real life. Luckily to the game, they won't hurt. Well, they don't have any feelings. They're inanimate objects.
I think with advancement of technology, I think there will be an update probably in like Codemasters F1 2031 where you can put like those those things you could put on your arms to sense like childbirth and that. You can put them on for actually feeling it when you hit a wall, so you get the actual pain of how it hurts. Maybe that'll be some sort of online stuff. But anyway, we got Bay setting the fast lap of the race here. Maybe something that kind of puts in my head here is I think King maybe taking it a bit conservatively, because he knows that Jay and Bezier both have time penalties, and he knows if he gets a 3-second time penalty, that could hurt him as well. So maybe he's kind of playing conservatively here. Keep out of the dog shed, let Jay, Bezier, and Reds all fight, get time penalties, and then kind of eep up the reins.
Well, most certainly do so. He's saving a lot of ERS, of course. He's under 10%, so his light is blinking. So, look, I don't know if he's conserving his tyres, but he definitely doesn't seem to have most pace. As meanwhile, side by side between the Alpha Tauri and the Racing Point there. The Racing Point just went right around the outside into the chicane, so good move there.
Bezier's already got 3
seconds.
Yep, Bezier's already got 6.
3 seconds then, straight away. So issues right there for Bezier. Right now, though, it's all about Jay trying to catch up to King. We know how easy this circuit is to get penalties, as now Reds
now got 3.
Penalty.
That's what Reds not want to see here. He wants to try to play conservatively here, stay alive, but we saw him kind of being very aggressive in the takes here, and he's already got 3 as well. So King right now, like I said, if I'm his engineer, I'm telling him, back it down a little bit. You got the pace. Let them start getting 3 and 6, and we have to fight. We have to fight. Save your ERS. Because right now, Reds has over 75%. Bezier has 36. Jay has 31, and King only has 19. And with King having not ERS, we already flag sector 2 here. One of the hot drivers is off. As it looks like we're going to have a pass here from Jay, as you are correct. As Jay is just going to get by King here. King probably, again, looking for a championship fight here. Wants to win. Just play it conservatively. He's going to go for a lunge, though. We know King loves doing those dive bombs, as a lot of the drivers in the paddock will say. And they are touching side by side. King's off in the grass. That is not what King wants to see. He's going to take a big action. It's a 3-1 sandwich between the two Williams with Alfa Romeo bread. Woo!
And this is getting a little bit personal right now, as Jay rather just said, "You're not going to do that to me," diving up the inside, and just forced him off the road. He had the right to do it. Does not have to give him any space whatsoever through that. So all respect out the window then already on that number 6. And I said earlier, Pepsi, didn't I? They all might try and bite each other's heads off at the end of this. Well, already they're trying to kill each other on lap 6. And now the 2 Williams leads this race. But look at the dirty air we get through the second sector.
Yeah, indeed. Here's how we got the Williams fighting as well. Bezier and Jay. Bezier and Jay fighting as Bezier make the pass. But yeah, I think you maybe. We saw by lap 1 they were fighting like it was the death of the race here. So we know they're going to fight. So I think you maybe bring an omen of chaotic racing, because now Jay gets 6 as well. So like I said, King right now has no time penalties, while Reds has 3, Bezier has 6, and Jay has 6. So their fighting is really costing him time. But we know King loves his dive bombs. We know he loves to throw those in the corners there when he can see an opportunity, as Mays decided to pit here a bit early. I don't think he has damage.
Front, Jay covering from the inside. The Williams going to go around the outside again then. So the 2 teammates really are just going at it. There might not be any teammates. Look at the Renault on the inside as well. These guys are getting all sorts of close right now. And this will not end well. This could not end well for so long. They can go side by side as much as they can. There will eventually be a breaking point, and the Renault try and go around the outside. Won't be able to do that. The Williams covers that one off. Bezier knows he's a wily old fox. But look how much time they're costing each other. Look, Cyan already at the back of this as well. It won't be long for the likes of Charlie coming onto this as well.
I think what may have been smart there was Mays pitted, and as now King gets 3, so now King racked up, and someone else got a 3 there as well. But I think Mays did something kind of smart there. He kind of pitted, got away from this train, now going to have some fresh tires, and he's now going to try to use this as they're going to keep fighting. We know they are. No one's going to be able to break away. It's actually like now Jay's got a second clear. So maybe Mays is like, they're going to keep fighting, let me get some ground on him, and let me get him back on the undercut here. But something that points me out is Reds right now can't be aggressive. He needs to get as many spots as he can on King, but if he gets damaged by Bezier, it's GG to his hopes. Now Jay's already up to 9 seconds, so Jay clearly winning this race, but he's going to have to go quickly to get a chance. But to finish my sentence, Reds has to be very conservative here, because if he loses his wing, championship hunt could be over if King finishes well.
Oh, he's going to go up the inside, then late braking. That was rather of a nice move then. Slot it through then, already in a second. I'm not quite sure how Jay got a penalty, by the way, through. He must have ran right into the last corner because it looked fine from my perspective, though.
Oh, here comes King.
I'm not quite sure. And look at King then up the inside then. So he's going to say, I want this straight away. They're down the inside of the Williams driver. Late braking maneuver as
give him
these
a little
guys
tap.
battle.
Chrome horn. He was going to give him the chrome horn. It looked like Bezier's. We know they go back by fighting, and we know they can be a little bit angry at each other at the end post-race cooldowns. So we know they like to kind of jostle each other's jimmies. So it's interesting to know that Bezier may not be too thrilled about that, but can he retaliate and get back ahead of King, as King is now still hunting down Reds like a lion on a fox.
Yeah, most certainly a lion. I'd not imagine be hunting a fox down in real life, but I get the memo. It's almost like certainly hunter versus prey right now. And most certainly the hunter, it might just become the hunted in a minute because Red's getting under attack all and more. That gap up front now, Jay opened it up to 2 seconds, give or take a tenth or two. Remember, he's got a nice 9-second penalty. Look, I tell you what, Lou, 6-10 between TTM King and Red. We know how long this straight is. It's not going to be long enough, Lou. He'll close.
Yeah, he's got 0 ERS,
it won't
though.
be enough.
Even if he did, he's got 0 ERS, so he's not even going to make anything happen, while Red still has over 53%. As my cable, I think, came...
Luke's on his mic as he disconnects.
Yep, lost the flag. I was so excited. Pulled the cable out. Let me finish my sentence there. King has 0 ERS while Reds has over 50. So even if you have 0 ERS, it doesn't give as much of the engine that much power because it's not going forward. So even if you have 0 ERS, it makes you a sitting duck if someone has 40, even if they're not using it, because the engine is a little bit down powered. So it's allowing Reds to kind of pull on those straights. So, yeah, even right now King needs to save so he can keep something on the straights to stay in the back of Reds, because Reds can kind of use that to his advantage, and both having 3 seconds, that's going to help all of them. But right now, Trape is kind of in the catbird seat along with Lesty, because they both have nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's almost like having a small hatchback engine basically been removed from this Formula 1 car. Then you're losing about 120 horsepower, I think it is total then, in terms of power. That's about half a second a lap if you were running, or maybe even more if you were running without the RSs.
Oh, Zalek's retired.
The pit lane.
In the pit lane, and King's
Ellie
coming in as well.
The pit lane has retired, and so whatever happened for the Mercedes driver hasn't worked out in the long run.
Trape pitted as well.
Back.
Trape has pitted as well. We know, actually, something else worth noting is, remember, Lesty started this race on mediums, so he's going to be able to go longer in the tooth here. But as we can see, King went on a set of mediums, and Trape set on a mediums. Now, to answer the viewer question mailbox here, Disco Stu asks, what has happened? Everything. Go watch the replay of the live stream earlier. Watch lap 1. That was pure chaos. It was a bloodbath. Yellow flag sector 1. Someone is the wrong way around. That is the other Mercedes of 11? No, that's... Exalic?
That's Ellie coming out the pit lane and almost straight into the path of Trapland. The car was not ghosted, so
yeah,
Trape had to take some
that actually happened last week.
Action.
Oh, almost the Mercedes collided there. That was scary. But yeah, for some reason, I don't know how that's happened in this game, where the game has gone on longer in the cycle and they've actually made a bug. So I don't know how that's physically possible. But yeah.
I mean, John Haders up the inside of Connor. Connor is now back behind Mr. Hader's lead. I tell you what, Lobby by Vegan's doing a good job so far. Currently on those hard tyres, he might have not stopped yet, but he's carrying on his way. As Connor is finding all sorts of trouble down turn number 1 there, as he finds the grass is not the sticky stuff he wants to be on. Meanwhile, is that Jay in the pits?
Oh, yep, Jay in the pits as well, along with Reds, both pitting. Bezier staying out a little bit longer, and we know that as well that Lesty will stay out as well because of the tires. The King, I think actually Reds has damage, because I think I saw a wing get replaced. No, that was too quick of a stop, so never mind. I thought I saw something flash up, but that may have just been in my imagination.
It's going to be a bit close, you know.
It is.
Turn number 1, let's see.
Oh, they're going to come out ahead. Well, Jay will. Reds, it's going to be close. Yeah, he's going to fall to the end of this train here. Now, there goes King's wing. King's wing went flying off there. The particle is gone, so King is going to have downforce problems. Now he's going to try to go very aggressive on Trape. And, yeah, use that sensational King dive bomb trademarked. But, yeah, King's wing just went flying off, so now he's going to be struggling for downforce there. They both tried to split the Ferrari, and the Ferrari kind of has the right to be there, but probably made no friends.
Yeah, that was a bit of contact then, so beat by Vegan, really making no friend to Ferraris, being rather a bit of a meat right now, as up the inside comes Maisler slithering down the inside. But I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Looks like either beat by Vegan slightly moved to try and get out the way of one car, then the other car suddenly moved at the exact same time. There was contact down the straight. That has absolutely, most certainly ruined any chances for TTM King in this race, and he's going to have to either try and soldier on for quite a while. He's going to be stopping.
He sped in the pit lane at insult to injury at 5 seconds. Now, Malik, remember, I think he got damaged or something. He got 3 seconds, so maybe something's struggling there. He's falling down the order as well. So Trape right now is currently de facto leading this race because we got to remember, now King is now pitting. So King is probably fuming in that cockpit right now. Going to have to try to make a recovery drive here. And we got Reds in 6. But I think what happened was, the best way to describe it is when you're on a highway sometimes, you get tunnel vision. Like there's 2 semi-trucks between the left view and the right view. You get tunnel vision. You have to try to hold the wheel. And maybe he just twitched. Maybe he looked over to check where King was and turned the wheel just slightly. But yeah, that can sometimes happen. And now, unlike last week where Reds broke off a bit of a wing in the United States, it's now King to get some bad luck as Bezier now gets 3 seconds as well. Bezier, it's just not going right for Bezier. And actually, he's down to 8th.
Well,
yep.
Yeah, down to 8th.
Trape
currently in 3rd. Got his team behind, just rather kind of holding up Reds right now. He did let him through down the straight just a few moments ago, of course. That is how he got past. He lifted off to let him through. And now he's just going to be basically the mobile chicane right now.
He can't break his wing. He's got points. He cannot risk the mover right now. He's going to get so many more points on King right now to bring the gap down. He can't force a pass and risk doing the same thing happened to King. But right now we know Malik and Reds were teammates at one point in the Racing Point, because remember, Reds was a full-time driver at Racing Point. Now it looks like, but no love lost between the former teammates, as it looks like Reds is going to try to hang it around the outside, still fighting here. Malik is just going to have to lose here. I think Malik, he's like, please, Malik, cut me a break, as Jay sets the fast lap of the race, and Reds is now on by.
Yeah, good fighting between those two. A little bit of rubbing and arching and barging. In terms of DRS, by the way, guess what? It's going to be the Racing Point. And let's see, is he going to come back? Is he going to go and have a little dive up the inside?
Here he comes.
He's going to go back up the inside then. So, not fighting it really as heavy as they can.
Reds.
Bit of contact. They're going to be running side by side into the next kink. And they just about give each other room.
And this is going to allow Maze. This is going to allow Maze to slowly reel him back in. I don't think Malik's actually pit yet. So Malik did start on a set of medium. So Malik is got to pit again, and I think, again, I'm watching this as a neutral observer, but if I'm Reds right now, as someone that's rooting for Reds, I am like getting so anxious, because this is just like, this is not what you want to see.
Well, he's got away with it this time.
Vegan gets 3.
Damage. Vegan with 3. Lots of drivers here. Penalties. I'll have a look by the penalties. 9 for Jay, 3 for both Reds and Malik, 14 for Bevezia, 9
Charlie
for
now down to 3.
Charlie with 3 for King, 11 for Haders, 12 for 11. That's a little tongue twister for you there. But quite a few penalties already to come on as Letty the Trick leads this race. Bevezia, meanwhile, really not finding much room as he gets up the inside.
Still side by side. I think Malik may want to pit sooner or later. He's falling off a cliff here. Maybe try to make a one stop, but that's very unfeasible around here. But yeah, you can see by the penalties there, Bezier is just not doing good there. Leading the way currently with the Stewards Discretion Award with 14 seconds worth of penalties here. But right now, only nice boys here is now Maze is going to be under pressure from Bezier. Bezier will have to back it down here, not going to make it happen. Charlie gets a pass on Vegan for 8th, going to clear him right for the straight line. But now 11 gets another time, so now she takes over the Stewards Discretion Award. But with Lesty, Trape, and Maze, and Demo all not having penalties, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Is now Bezier going to pass Maze here, trying to find a second to say one more thing. Now Bezier going to get by Maze, so Bezier to 5th, and King just set the fast lap of the race, so King is trying to recover as best he can.
Yeah, great battling then between all these drivers, that section of the circuit. Really providing quite a lot of entertainment in all the ends of less than you'd thought. Normally in real life Mexico, quite a boring race, most certainly right now.
King around Demo. And now King's now back in the points here. He just hung it around the outside there spot. You don't even see a pass happen. Just showing he's got that pace advantage on those softs. And he just hugging around Demo. And now King up the 10th, back in the points now. But just worth noting right now, Reds would have 10 points gained on King, which would put him 5 behind, if my math is correct from the standings. 5 behind for the championship lead right now.
Yeah, most certainly, so he's basically going to eradicate that lead.
Yo, flag sector 2, that's Demo going slow. Connor, actually, my mistake.
Demo.
Nope, that is
Demo, I think.
Yep, that is Demo. I was correct first.
Going slowly, though, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. He wasn't.
Oh, now he's going slow. Now he's going slow, though.
He's lifting off. Low. Is he coming in the pits? No, he's not. So, I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Talking about McLaren's,
match fixing.
though. Well,
Malik gets 3.
Having a look on Connor.
Oh, yeah, if you got something to note, please note, because Charlie now passes Malik for 8th. Now Malik definitely falling down the order here. Probably wants a pit, but what's shocking is Leslie still hasn't got caught by Jay. He's probably going to get caught soon here, as now Jay gets another 3. So Jay, he's not helping himself. He's got 6 on Trape. If he can just keep it clean, he could have been okay. But now he's going to fall down even farther and farther, the worse he makes it.
Yeah, meanwhile, Connor getting overtaken by Maddie so Connor now down into 14th position. Up front, though, well, this is basically going to be like taking candy from a baby, 15 laps. I'm wondering if he's going to stop.
Oh, here comes Leslie.
Now.
Yep, Leslie's spinning now.
Yes, is the answer. He is going to stop now, as Jay Reed now takes the lead. And I'm wondering, is Leslie going to go on a set of mediums here, and then go on a set of softs at the end? Well, he's definitely on a medium.
He's going mediums, and I think those are mediums? They look white to me. Nope, they're mediums. Yeah, give me a bad angle there. Yep, they're mediums as well. So he's going mediums, softs. So he's going for a 2-stop still. He could have maybe made it on a set of hards, you think, but he'd be so slow that I don't think it would have been the smartest choice. Yeah,
how tight this field really is, and you're fighting for this. One stop, it might have worked.
Is coming out 9th. So that's going to be just by Vegan. But considering everyone else has so many pedals ahead of him, that actually, having that space, he can just kind of run his own race.
Yep, just needs to keep himself out of all harm's way.
Oh, Demo gets 5 for speeding.
Getting out of harm's way. Demo in the pit lane. McLaren driver, set of hard tyres I'm seeing is that. Yep, set of hards lane for the McLaren driver, so he's committing to the 1-stop. Back out on circuit straight away, but a 5-second time penalty puts him up.
Ooh, got a bad over 12.
5.
Maddie and John Hader fighting here. One of the only close battles we have on track, so we'll watch it here. Is now the Haas driver is just going to pass John Hader like he's nothing. And remember, I think Hader started on the hards, pitted, and now on a set of softs. Malik gets 3 for multiple warnings as well. I feel like a pole commentator right now calling all the penalties, like watching the stage, like we got 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. Who's going to keep racking them up here? But yeah, Jay currently still leads the way. 7 seconds clear Tropa. He is really gaining, but remember, for the viewers at home, I'll keep saying he has 12 seconds worth of time penalties, so he has to get another 5 seconds ahead or hope Trope starts getting cuts.
Yep, Lesty, meanwhile, he's on the back of Beat by Vegan, and this should be a relatively easy move then between the Ferrari and the car. Is Malik in the pit lane? Here comes the Red Bull driver, Beat by Vegan. Is he going to go left or right? We've got 11 off down at the chicane then of turn 5 and 6 as Beat by Vegan is rather made ends meet then by Mr. Twiggy Lesty then, who's currently now up to 7th position. As I think 11's gone for another spin, actually, as you know.
We noticed that in Japan as well, that, the tires are very warm here, and she cannot get the power down. She really needs to limp. Now she's retired. That's race over. Wheel is off. That could be a safety car, depending on where she's retired. That is a very active part of the track. It's nearly a runoff road, but they may call it. We'll see how the game decides to rule this. But yeah, it's just worth noting that you have to be careful when the tires get that warm, because once you kind of spin once, you have to let the power come back to them and get the heat back in them, or at least, cool down, or else that will happen. And I don't think there'll be a safety car because nothing has been called, so no safety car again. So in the past couple weeks, they've thrown them like candy for things, but now they're very patient with them. So it looks like the Mexican officials are like, play on, like a soccer call. They are not calling anything at discretion. Just let them fight.
Maybe they're eating tacos, Pepsi. Maybe Bum Islander's just, maybe he's eating too many tacos and he's feeling unwell today.
I'm sorry, I need to cut you off. Tacos?
Babble J off the road. Babble J just hit the wall. He's lost his front wing. So what on earth just happened there? He's just, he's lost the front left end plate. Look, front left end plate is gone there on that car.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not quite sure what happened there. He got on the curb, then just went straight on into the Armco barrier. And what on earth just happened there?
He's going to have to
stop again. So he's been on a set of mediums at the start, was he not? Or was he on a set of softs? No, it was a set of softs. So he can stop now and got a medium till the end. 20 laps on those tyres, though. It's going to be a stretch. A set of hards could always be an option. He's got 8 seconds. But what a drama we got right now in this race is Jay. A small mistake into the wall. And while he maybe got a little bit distracted there.
We'll see here, indeed. Maybe look in his phone. Don't want to be texting while driving, kids. Or maybe he heard you say tacos. But anyway, he's staying out again. Jay going to go one more lap. So it looks like he doesn't think the damage that bad. He can limp till his next stop. But we do have Reds on the back of Trape here. So it looks like Reds has found that late race pace here. He has to get 3 clear Trape. But if trouble sounds for Jay, this could be battle for the win of the race right now.
Yeah, but certainly. Meanwhile, Demo and Connor just switched around then 1 lap versus 13 laps. So here comes the Renault then. Down the inside, needs to make it clean. Let's see has the inside line. The corner low suddenly opens up on the exit. This is not where you want to be normally because that'll happen. And round goes the Renault. Can't hit it low, luckily on the exit. I'm
no
not
damage
sure
as well.
if that starts. Yeah, it might be a little bit of damage, but it might not be sufficient enough so we can see it. But he maybe should have just tried to play that one. He knows he's got another straight, and the drivers really just trying to get all kinds of moves done as soon as they can. Meanwhile, Demo up the inside of Mr. John Hayden's down into the bottom of the circuit. The Ferrari driver making way again then, as the Ferrari starting to drop back down the field. Currently 9th and 12th respectively. However, I feel that might be in the pits in a few moments' time for the
John
Ferrari.
Hayden gets a little squirrely there off exit there. So Connor, 2 McLarens fighting the Ferrari here. But yeah, I just want to go back to that point there. Reds, as someone that drives very conservatively when he tries to overtake, seeing some of these lunges you see, they think it's like a NASCAR race and rain's going to be coming. We're past halfway and the rain is coming, so the race will be official. But you guys don't have to fight for that yet. You got 17 more laps. Be patient. There's still another pit stop. There could be a safety car. Right now, Reds can't going for another overtake here. Maybe has he learned his lesson? Clearly not affected too much of the downforce. Going for it again. Going to get clear this time by a clear margin. So no side-by-side going into the turn. So Reds will take the spot from Chape. So if anything did happen, it was just probably kind of overcooking maybe the rear tires for a lap there. But he'll be fine at the very least.
Yep, so finally switching up to P2. The next target will be Jay, who is limping around. He's got to get potentially a stop in the next couple of laps. Maybe to try and do just anything he can do, really.
Ooh, Malik's past Vegan.
16, yeah, Malik passing Vegan. Vegan's at the pits. That's probably why he's got past. As back out he goes. A little bit of lag low on my screen as the mechanics are all just left. Standing, looking onwards. I think the mechanics are a bit broken. They're just standing, looking at me.
Maybe. I think he sped at 5 seconds in the pit lane a couple. I think he may have sped. I think maybe it was someone else, but maybe he's serving something. I don't 100% know. But yeah,
back out in circuit.
Trape is now clearly a second down. So I wonder if Trape maybe got the worst of that incident between him and Reds, because he's really losing pace as Hayter gets 5 for speeding. Jay is in, so now Jay decided to pit, and he's not going to get held by the Ferrari. Long race here. And now Reds is going to take the lead here. So Reds the first, Trape in a second. Trape is still currently in this race because Reds has 3 added to his name. But this is what the doctor ordered for Reds, and this is not what the doctor ordered for King.
Yeah, needs to make sure he gets out of this pit lane ahead of that Ferrari. Crucially, he does do so by quite a margin, but it's going to drop him down to 8th, maybe 9th position. Look who's right here, by the way. TTM King. Going to come, but King's going to have to stop again.
Yep, and we know King's going to fight him. If he catches him, King is going to fight him. He's not going to be like, oh, yeah, we're on different sides. No. Get the sword out. Let's fight. Duel to the death.
But looking at the drivers, by the way, I think Lesty possibly can try and go to the end here if he's conserving his tyres. Now, Mexico, very difficult. You've got to be, 20-lap-old tyres at the end of this. He's currently 4 laps, of course. We've got 16, 15 to go. So, around about 20 laps. That's possible on these set of tyres, of course. So, we'll be seeing potentially Lesty has a chance at leading this race later on if he does manage this. I'm looking at the rest of the field, by the way. Red's up front, so he's going to have to stop. He's probably going to set a set of softs on in around about 6 laps, probably. About 6-7 laps.
Indeed. Something that points my head, though, we know Lesty, he's someone that, when it feels like I reminded a couple rounds ago where a safety car came out late, but before the safety car, he could have probably stretched it and won that race. At the very least, got a podium, and it kind of didn't play out big for him. So he's someone that kind of, it's someone that it could be an option to. We don't obviously see his tire. We do not have any information, so we don't know how good his tires or bad they are. We have to go off of previous knowledge. Now he's going to get passed by Lesty. But I think if he tries to stay out here, that's what's going to happen to him, is he's just going to be kind of a sitting duck. Because remember, even though Reds has 3, Bezier has 14, Charlie has 3, he's going to have problems because Trape and Mays have nothing. So, and considering that Trape is about 6 seconds ahead of him, if Trape gets by him, any chance of winning the race is over. But he could maybe get a podium if he holds on. And speaking of podiums, I will let the viewers home. At the end of this race, there will be a post-race interview with the top 3. So if you're in the comments right now and you've got a question you may want to ask them, let us know. We'll relay it to the viewers at the end of this race here, because it's a new front here. As now it looks like Jay kind of locks up that corner a little bit, so it looks like he's really pushing to try to make advantage of what the mistake he made.
Yeah, he needs to get on with it as soon as he can. He's got to do out. Well, he should. He's
now Mays gets 3. So Mays falls as well, so it leaves only Lesty and Trape as the 2 nice boys here that don't have Stewart's penalties added to their names.
Yeah, most certainly then. There's the above bottle where the cloud's starting to come over. Now that is going to benefit the anyone on those soft tyres later on, of course. That means those cooler temperatures, they won't be as easy to wear. But looking at the sky, doesn't look like any chance of rain, however, for the time being, as the sun now comes back out over the circuit. So a few small cloudy bubbles above the circuit. King.
5 seconds speeding in the pit lane there, pitted, and that is really going to hurt him in the end of things. Now he's up to 8 seconds. So add insult to injury, make something bad to worse here. That was something he did not need to do, and now he's fuming in the cockpit probably.
By the body language in the cockpit, probably. He is definitely furious as he comes back out on circuit. This is not going the way he wants it to go, as Charlie gets himself a 3-second time penalty as well. Still only 2 drivers without penalties so far, although I'm not going to hold my breath for how easy it is to get penalties on this circuit.
Oh, Bezier's already up to 20. Remember, if you get 30 seconds worth of penalties, they will disqualify you. So Bezier is only 9 penalties away from possibly seeing his race end, so he's going to have to clean it up with 13 to go here. Jay at 15 as well, Beat by Vegan at 12, Haters 11, a lot of drivers over 10. Heck, only driver that has 3 is Maze and Reds, so Reds has really kept it clean, while a lot of other drivers have made mistakes, have added 3 to 6 or 6 to 9.
Yeah, it's all going to be a very interesting end to this race then, with what, just over 12.5 laps to go, as Jay gets past Maze, who just comes into the stops. Let's see then. Is this a set of mediums or a set of softs then?
Softs, I'd assume.
It's a set of softs.
It's a set of softs.
So 12 laps then on those tyres. I'd probably have said stay out for another lap or two then, and then got those fresher tyres, because these tyres will die off pretty quickly, of course. They can last about 10, 11 laps. And there will be around about 70%.
So back to Trape is not really actually something worth noting here is Malik actually jumps Maze. So it looks like the gap of a pit stop's about 18, 19 seconds. So for the viewers at home, right now, Lesty, if he decides to stay out, because we did entertain that thought, I guess we'll keep adding math to this. He's 4 behind Jay, 5 actually. 5, 2, 7, 7, 1, 8, 8, 7, 7. That's 15. So even if he does stay out, he probably won't catch Trape. So he's only looking at second best unless Trape gets a penalty. So even if he does stay out, he's looking for maybe a 3rd or a 4th instead of maybe a 5th or a 6th. So is that really worth it?
Leader in, so Red's in. I'll tell you what, right now, if we get a safety car, this is all just going to fall into Trape's and especially Lesty's hands right now, because look at everyone else, they've not got penalties. These guys have. Reg is going to come out a set of soft tyres. Let's see where Lesty's going to come out of this. He should be ahead of him then by
just
about
barely
4 seconds, give or take at the end of this. It's going to be awfully close with one of the McLarens who's a lap down. It's a little bit too far back, but about, let's see, it's about 3-4 seconds then. So Reg is going to have to get the bubble on. Should be a relatively easy thing to catch up, of course. Lesty's going to be trying potentially to go to the end of this race. I'm not sure if he will or not, but it's always a chance, especially he's only on 8 laps,
but he's going to get
another 10.
He's going to get caught, though, by Reds very quickly here, so he's not going to win this race if Reds gets by. Remember, Reds does have 3 seconds, though, so add 3 to whatever time Reds has. But yeah, as you brought up, a late safety car here, that is definitely going to throw a monkey wrench in his plans, especially if it's like with only 3 or 4 laps to go, because there's no way Reds is able to get 3 seconds clear of anyone. So that could play in the hands of Trape, that could play in the hands of Lesty, and that could play in the hands of drivers that have only 3 seconds maybe down the grid here. So it looks like Reds probably should be patient here on a move here, thinking about doing around the outside here. He is losing time to Trape. That's what he has to do. Is now Trape is in the pits here, so we'll see where Red cycles out here. Does he have a better in-lap here? We'll see on retrospect here. He's got some traffic. Lesty is holding up just a tad, so we'll see on retrospect. Keep an eye on the bottom of your screen here. Even the Racing Point driver has not even left the pit lane yet. Now he's starting to drive away. He's going to have DRS off the straight, going to use all his DRS. He's definitely going to come out ahead of the driver in question by a while. That's a good chunk of time there. So Reds now takes up his lead, and I think he may be 3 seconds clear of Trape. So yeah, he's now de facto leader of this race, as now Reds gets past Lesty.
Yeah, Lesty really was trying to fight on, in my opinion, and probably would have been a little more easier just letting him through and just conserve those tyres. If you are going to go and try
Malik's retired,
race,
but that's in the pit lane. That's in the pit lane.
Pits, so Malik out of this race as well. That's now down to, 14 runners in this race. Beat by Vegan, meanwhile, in the points now in the Ferrari from the back of the grid. TTM Kinglow probably ruining himself as Charlie gets himself a penalty as well. And I tell you what, this is turning into the race of penalties right now. Bavezia on 20, Jay on 15, 9 for Charlie, 3 for Reds, 3 for Maze, you got 8 for King, 12 for Vegan, 5 and 6 respectively for Demo and Matty, 8 for Connor, 14 for John Haders. So only 2 drivers being
we got a pass
good boys right now.
Yep, we only got a pass here for the lead here, and it looks like Jay just going to make quick work of Bezier here, just on the inside. Both fighting for us. Now Red sets the fast lap of the race, add an extra point. The Reds is total, because I don't think King may pit to go for a counter here. We know he's done that in the past, as Charlie has pitted as well. Lesty and Trape on the back, so we have the pass for the lead with Jay passing Bezier, and now we got Trape just going to make quick work of Lesty here. Lesty now down to basically de facto P2 of this race. So... or P3, my mistake. So, yeah, Lesty, if he's trying to hold on, he needs to stay ahead of Maze, but Maze only being, well, he's about a straight behind, 12 seconds. So if Lesty does stay out, there's a chance he can at least finish 3rd, per se.
I'll tell you something we have missed, by the way. It's Jay, who, yes, he has that 15 seconds penalty, but he doesn't have to come in the pits, by the way, either, because he'll easily be able to do the rest of this race.
True, because that wing damage.
10 more laps on those tyres. Because he had that wing damage, and we kind of missed it, of course, because of the amount of loss we thought had been completely out of this race, but no, he's still there.
Oh,
so.
whoa. Reds gets an extra 3. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to point out, Reds has got another 3 seconds for multiple warnings. He's now up to 6. That is definitely a monkey wrench in the plans, but...
Rain!
Yeah.
It's raining, Pepsi! Look, we got rain starting to fall over the circuit, and that is all just going to fly into anyone who's currently up front. This is going to put a spanner in the works.
I was going to say a couple laps ago, it was getting very dark. I was going to point that out. I'm like, is it getting darker to the point where you think they'll be red? And that's how Trape sets the fast lap of the race. Probably last chance we're going to see a fast lap of the race. So Trape steals it from Red to the death of it. But this may... I don't know if this is going to help or hurt Lesty, and Lesty's staying out, because Lesty's going to come out in 5th, but does... Here's a question. If it gets wet enough, do you pit? Because we only got 8 laps to go. If you're a driver, let's say like Jay, do you just try to stay out and limp?
Well, it depends on how heavy it's coming down, Pepsi. We know how easy it is. Suddenly, the weather can just switch like
Reds has caught the back of Bezier. Reds has now caught the back of him.
Soft, tired runners, they've got so much more grip now, because everyone on those medium tires,
Bezier's backing it down. Bezier is really backing it down like by a mile. He is limping. Like, he is not feeling comfortable on those tires, and this is holding up Red's a treat. Red's now going to go for it. Oh, that could be illegal. That could be the definition of the word illegal. He may have to give it back. Definitely cut the corner here. I don't know how the stewards will rule. That was... But maybe because of the wet conditions, maybe they'll cut him a break, because Bezier did kind of pinch him off there. He forced him low. He had nowhere to go, Reds. So, I don't know how the stewards will rule that. The game clearly hasn't given a penalty. Bezier now pitting. So, it'll be interesting how the stewards... Yeah, we'll see how the stewards rule this. But Bezier also did stay out a lot, so... We'll see here. It looks like Connor's in the pit. We'll take a quick check at Demo. Demo is on ints. Demo's on ints. So, we're going to assume Bezier's also going on ints as well. He is... Yep, he's got to serve 5 seconds for speeding, though, so that's why he's going to wait. So it looks like our top drivers may be just limping. So keep an eye at the viewers at home for Bezier. If I'm King right now, I'm pitting. You got nothing to lose. You're 8th. You're barely in the points. Pit. Let's take a risk. Let's roll the dice.
Well, you say that, Lo. Let's keep an eye out on second times, really. That's going to be the interesting thing of seeing as another penalty there. That's for Charlie, another 3-second time penalty. So, starting to have a few issues with penalties right now, but look how quickly Reg is caught up to Jay right now up front. He's catching about 3-4 seconds a lap. Lee's soft tyres are coming alive.
Trape gets 3.
Longer?
So we have a yellow flag sector 1. Someone's the wrong way around. It's one of the Ferraris. That's Haters. If he doesn't get it fired quickly, that could trigger a safety car. And with 5 to go, that is definitely going to be a monkey wrench in the works. I know I want chaos, but this is going to be interesting. When you join me in the booth, Evil, you bring the god of chaos with you, so you need to be here the next 2 weeks. But yellow flag sector 2 wrong. Someone's the wrong way around. That's Charlie. That is Charlie.
He dropped it, and Charlie. Now everyone's going to start coming to the pit lane. Matt in the pit lane for a set of intermediates. I'd be starting to get a bit concerned then, because that car just saw it and it just snapped.
Lesty, pit, Lesty, pit. Yeah, good job, Lesty, pit. Chase him down. You could win this. Like right now, if you're Lesty, you're Maze, you have 3 seconds. You're King, pit. You got to do it now before a safety car possibly comes out.
Hater's off as well.
Hater
no
could trigger a safety car here.
There's no grip out there. Look at it. There's absolutely nothing. Everyone's going off. And I tell you what, right now, this is all going to be about being on the right tyre, being on the right tyre.
Maze and Lesky pitted.
I tell you what, everyone's
DRS has been disabled.
DRS is disabled.
Oh my.
It's time for intermediates. It's time for intermediates. These guys are all slithering around on the soft tyres. And look at Red's now into the lead of this race. Jay's got nothing in that car. Absolutely nothing. And now it's about tiptoeing through this corner.
But
and just hoping.
Here's the risk. If you're a driver like King, like if you're right now, you got 26 seconds ahead of King. King is 26 seconds behind Trope, Jay, and Reds. Do you limp? Now Reds gets another 3. He's up to 9 seconds. Reds has now got 9 seconds worth of time penalties, so he's got to pit now to try to at least save his championship hopes. He goes way too wide. Yeah, you're going to have to pit, but if your driver like Trope only has 3 seconds, maybe limp? It's only 6 laps. You know, Bezier's got over 20 seconds worth of time penalties, so even if he catches you, it's not going to be enough. King is going to try to limp around as well, and King has at least 3 as well. This is going to be strategic. It looks like Reds is pitting, Jay is pitting, Trope is pitting. King definitely is going to have to pit. He's got 27 seconds. Oh, base sped the pit lane. Jay already has 20 seconds time penalty. Any chance of winning this race was probably done anyway. But that's not good. So Trope right now was smiling like the cat ate the canary. Now the question is, how aggressively can Bezier come out? Now Bezier's got traffic. He's already caught King and Charlie. So Bezier could easily make this work and jump to the lead. But the problem is that he's got over 20 seconds. A lot of penalties. Oh, wrong way around.
He just turned in on him. King just turned straight into him. He's trying to get to the pit lane. He can't get it in there. Look at this. He's sideways into the pit lane. Can he get it in? Yes, he can.
Barely.
King just about gets it in the pit lane. But look here at Lesty, by the way, who's absolutely flying up this order. It's not been enough, though, because Reds has got out in the lead.
Yeah, they all got out ahead here.
Jay in second, Charlie in
Reds,
third.
3 seconds.
King in the stops. Look, he's got 5, 6, 7. Now he's getting those tyres on. It's a long stop. He's the best he's going to get is 7th in this race. But this has put a spanner in the works here in Mexico.
And we got to remember cycling penalties as well. We got Reds with 9 seconds. He's not going to get clear Trope. So Trope right now is probably going to win this race, and how it's all said and done, Trope will walk home with a win. But Reds is definitely going to at least finish P2 because Jay has 20, Bezier has 15. As long as he keeps it clean, there's no way either driver jumps him. And the only thing you got to worry about is maybe Lesty, who could possibly steal it from him, because Lesty's 9 seconds behind Bezier, and he's probably another second. So he's about 13 seconds behind.
Seconds,
yeah. So he needs to get 4 seconds on him. We know Reds has the speed, but at least Lesty's on chance for a podium here, definitely, as long as he keeps his nose clean. But I think Lesty was kind of hoping maybe he should have did a Bezier pitted 1 lap earlier, but it's a situation where he was wishing they probably went 1 more lap, because he definitely would have got him with 1 more lap.
Yeah, you'd be doomed if you did, doomed if you didn't. At that point, that Jay with absolutely no grip out there on those intermediate tyres, and Trope looking like he's going to come at him then. LFT, of course, presumably that's Liverpool Football Club.
Yep.
He must be a supporter of then. I would be very surprised if it was something else. It might be. You never know.
Oh, Charlie gets 3.
Charlie. Another 3 seconds.
Considering Trope is the PSG, Ken Trope from PSG, the French superstar. Yeah, it's definitely probably a soccer reference here. But yeah, he's now a second behind Jay, though, so he's kind of struggling on those wets. Because here's one more thing we got to note. All these drivers have set their setups to dry setups. They probably did not set this to the wet. And considering the fact that they probably got their cars, now King gets another 3 along with Bezier. Something else worth noting, though, is that so they got these cars all set up for dry conditions. How many of these drivers went into their side menu and fixed it? Oh, Charlie's put in the pit lane. How many drivers adjusted their front wing to get himself some more downforce in the rainy conditions? I don't think many, as it looks like Trop is kind of struggling.
Yeah, everyone's on a struggle, like I say, but down to now 13 runners. Is Jay another penalty?
Jay 13, Bezier 18. Yep. Definitely Lesty will get a podium here. That's not a question. As long as he keeps it clean. Let me knock on wood real fast. As long as he keeps it clean, he should be good. But can he get more out of it? As now it's going to shoot out the car of Charlie.
Maze off.
Oh, Maze off.
Dropped it down into the SX, and he's got it back going, but everyone's struggling. Oh, is it ready for wet tyres already?
But it's so late.
How easy
it's too late, though, to pit for wets. That's the thing. Like, you could... Okay, if you're a driver like Lesty, let's say he's got no time penalties, do you pit for wets? You would lose so much time and only... I don't think you're going to get that much time. Maybe 8th or 9th, maybe, but even then the gaps are so big. I think you're just stuck on the tire you're on, as now Charlie's eye is going to pull off here. But I think you're stuck with what you have.
Oh yeah, most certainly. Jay really trying to catch up to the back of Reds. He wants to try and get this lead. He might not get it by the penalties, but
if I'm Reds, let him go. If I'm Reds, just let him go. It's not worth it. You're not gonna be able to keep ahead. He's obviously gonna drop behind you. It's not worth fighting him and getting wing damage. Just let him go. Give him the hand. Just let him by. Oh, there goes Charlie. Jay off. Bunged up the S section there. Definitely struggling, trying to get as much power as he can. That's going to give some Red some breathing room. But again, like I said, if Jay gets ahead of him, Red should just give him the hand to go. Go. Just let him go. Don't wreck me. Don't fight me. I'll let you go. Just please. I want to finish.
Almost begging for mercy, you might say, right there would be Red. Like, these drivers, they're all fighty, they're all feisty, they all want a victory.
We got 3 to go.
Even with penalties, 3 to go, Len. And look, they're all just tiptoeing around the circuit right now. None of them really looking very comfortable in these conditions. But Vezia down there, and he's getting caught rapidly right now by Lesty. Lesty might get him even without the penalty.
But yeah, does he force it though? Like I said, he's got a podium. I think math still says he's probably 4th, actually. No, because he's got 3rd. He's got 3rd lock. If he can get a little closer, he could possibly get 2nd. As Jay now gets 3 as well. Jay's going
to get disqualified at this
Trying not to get disqualified. Let's put it like that. He's got 2 laps not to get disqualified. 3 actually. But yeah, he's really locking up. You can hear those tires squealing for mercy. He is really trying to find whatever he can out of it, for better or worse.
Yeah, these guys, they're trying to go as slow, as fast, as gentle as they can. Then the intermediate tyres squealing, painling for life. They've got nothing left in the tank. All the drivers just about trying to keep it on the island. As Reds leads this race, 2nd position for Jay, 3rd for Trapelen in 3rd. He looks like he's going to win this race because of the penalty situation,
hold on. If
but
he
never say never.
If he gets another 3 seconds, or if he backs down a little bit too aggressively, Reds can still win this, because if he gets to the back of Jay and gets held up, it's not over for Reds yet, because it's about 3.5 seconds right now. One more time penalty by Trape, and that's going to give Reds the win. So Trape is not out of the woods yet, but if he can really back down, he's got about 5 seconds to give. So play it conservative, and you got this win.
They certainly do. The lesser the Twig in 5th. Still closing. Maze in 6th. King in 7th.
King has actually caught the back of Maze. But yeah, even if he gets by him, he's got to get another 3 seconds on him. So yeah, even if he gets by him, it's highly improbable he gets 3 cleared. But King is just probably kicking himself here today, because I'll do point math afterwards. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's looking like Brazil is going to be very interesting.
Well, there we go. Len gets past the AlphaTauri driver. No DRS, of course, so it's all going to be about who's got more straight line speed. I'll tell you what, though. It's definitely the AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
Maze there must lot less downforce. Is King going to send one up the inside in frustration?
We know King loves them.
Is.
He loves those dive bombs. He loves those aggressive lunges, and he's going to get past 6. Maze now knows just got to stay in touch of him, and he'll be fine. So Maze knows not worth losing my wing and losing a guaranteed 6. Even though Maze is not fighting for a championship, points are still points. Lesty's on the, again, slowly reeling in Bezier. He's going to be a 2nd clear. Bezier actually going to get held possibly by Demo here a little bit. So we could have a battle here for 5th or 4th. But yeah, actually right now what's worth noting is Trape's dropped 2 on Jay, and Jay's dropped 2 on Reds. So right now the gap is about 4.5. Could be 5. So again, highly unlikely with 1 lap to go, Reds can get another 4 clear, especially in these conditions. But if a driver loops it, or Trape gets 3, Reds looks good.
Yeah, he's opening it bit by bit. Final lap of this race. So, Reds is just going to get another some 2 miles around this circuit in one direction. And that one direction is forward, not backwards. Jay just needs to try and not get himself another penalty, because he might get himself disqualified if he's not careful. He really needs to just tiptoe around this circuit.
Actually,
so does Trape.
He may actually come out ahead of King. I'm right now looking at the numbers. I think he'll come out ahead of King, because King is 14 behind Bezier, and now Vegan gets 3 as well. I thought that was Jay for a second. But yeah, so that's still going to be at least okay. At least Jay will finish 5th. I guess it's something. But Reds is going to go through the last couple corners here as well. Reds just don't mungle up the S section now. Going to keep the power down. Oh, he's trying. He has to get enough of a gap to win, but he's trying to at least keep the gap here. Don't get another penalty as well. That could really monkey wrench, and you could lose 2nd to Leslie if you get another one. So we'll see here on retrospect. Going to the 3rd sector here. Maddie should not play a factor here. No fireworks because we're in the rain. Unless, actually, no, we can still see the red-green smoke coming out, so they at least are going to shoot that off in the rain. At least the guys that haven't left here. But Reds needed a good result here today to close the gap on the championship. He will cross the line in first position, and bearing something happening, it's going to be him probably falling down second, though, but Reds will cross the line first. Jay up second. Jay got 26 seconds, so he's 20 down. We'll see how far he falls. Troppe now going to win this race, so Troppe wins. Reds second. Bezier and Leslie fourth and fifth right now. Can they possibly leapfrog Reds or Jay here? Both of them will, but at least Jay. But will they jump Reds? We'll have to see here. Bezier off the last couple corners here. It's going to be Bezier locking it down fourth, and Leslie's actually going to get third, but he's going to slot behind Reds, so Reds will be P2 in this race, and that's 18 points to add to his total. Now the next question is, where will King slot in? Yellow flag sector, John Hader has crashed. So John Hader will not get points here. One of the only drivers not to get any points so far this season. King will slot in 6th. Then we got Mays in 7th. And then we got Vegan in 8th. But he's probably going to keep 8th. So it's 8th, 9th, and 10th are all pretty much locked, bearing a spin.
Yeah, most certainly. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th already stopped. We're just waiting for Connor actually to cross the line then. But John Hader's rather just flinging himself into the barriers. So he decided he had none of that and almost took out poor old Mays with him there, as he just decided to cut the entire corner and just plant it in the barriers. So Mays probably had a little bit of a fright right there, but Lesty on that podium.
And then we're just waiting for Maddie. And remember, we do have a post-race show, so Evil, can you get those in, because I'm on broadcast, so if you can invite them in. But right now, Reds is, like I said, Reds has got 18 points as we wait for Maddie to finish here. But Reds has just gotten 18 points, and with King finishing 6th, 6 is going to get him 10. So that is 8 points gained by Reds. Actually, 25, 18, 15, 12, 10. Actually, that's 8 points. My mistake. So, yeah, he gained 10 points. So the gap is now 6 points in favor of King with 2 rounds to go. So this championship's far from over. As we now wait.
Indeed, is
Troppe's. Troppe, Reds, and Leslie, just to let you know if you didn't remember offhand. I would help invite, but since I am technically the stream camera here, it would go to a blue screen, so we'll just have to wait it out here. We'll do a quick little stall here.
Yeah, now got to go and add them as friends, I'm presuming, because they don't appear on my thing.
Yep, I think that's what you have to do, because unlike in game, you can't invite them to a party. So if you are listening, if you can add Evil Dragon, maybe make this process a little quicker as well. First time we've actually done this, so yeah, we've got to iron out some kinks. We'll get a little bit quicker with this in due time, but for right now. But yeah, now it's a nice sunny day. I'll do a quick little rundown of the standings here. Troppe gets the fast lap of the race and wins. He'll get pole position. Oh, not pole position. The race is already over. He wins the race, gets 26 points. Red's next up, who gets 18. Lesty in 3rd, actually survived and made it relatively clean there in the rain conditions. Then you got Jay in 4th, Bezier in 5th, King in 6th, Mays in 7th, Vegan in 8th, Maddie in 9th, and Demo will be the last driver getting points in 10th position. And then you have Connor 11th, Hader, the last two that actually finished the race, with Charlie, Malik 11, Zelik, Smith all not finished the race from 13th on down.
Indeed, as I slowly send them friend requests.
So yeah, while we wait for that to quickly commence here, I guess I will ask you, who do you think your driver of the day was here today, Evil?
Oh, it's so difficult. I have to give it to just everyone on that first couple of laps of just how close it was, as I get Lesty and add him as a friend as well, and hopefully they'll accept it so I can actually invite him to the party. It would be nice if they don't.
Like I said, next week we'll iron this out. We'll probably add everyone to the friends list just to be safe. But for this week, kind of last minute spring on us, so that's why it's happening. But yeah, for myself, I think I'm gonna give it to Reds. Part of me wants to say Reds, part of me wants to say Lesty, because Reds had a good championship moment here, able to close the gap. But then I also want to say Lesty, because he was able to keep it clean in the rainy conditions and the starting conditions. He was one of the only few drivers to get no time penalties, so was able to kind of claw his way up to get a 3rd. So I'm going to give it just to Reds, just on the grounds of really help close the championship, needed this round to have a good chance in the championship fight.
Yeah, most certainly, as I get Lesty has sent me a friend request, so I can get him in at least.
So yeah, we're just gonna, again, this is where we put maybe a card up or something, but since we do not have those graphics, we just gotta have to sit here and wait. Again, hopefully they do respond. And there is Leslie the Twig. Let me just quickly check the party screen to make sure something real fast. Go to the party. Make sure, just to let the person that joined the stream, Leslie, know that make sure you go to your party settings and make sure you allow your voice to be shared as always allowed. I will repeat that if you need to, but just want to let you know.
Yep. Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. We'll let another second to see if Reds or Trape join. If not, I guess it'll just be you joining us here today in the booth.
I've sent Reds an invite, and let's see, who else have I got invite? I've got
Trape.
for everyone.
Trape.
Right. Now I've got to try and, well, I sent him a friend request, so hopefully he has it, because I can't find his PSN otherwise.
Oh, again, we'll iron out the kinks next week. We got 2 rounds left. We'll be good by 2021's game.
Now I'll leave the questions to you, my good Pepsi boy.
All right, so I guess while we'll wait, we'll just ask the questions first to Leslie and see if anyone else joins. So, Leslie, thank you for joining us in the booth, taking a time out of your day here. I guess I should first throw out here is during qualifying. I guess my first question would be during qualifying. It looked like you were going to try to make a set of softs up, but at least according to your own words, you botazed it. So what was kind of going through your head when you kind of bungled qualifying and starting 16th?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me in. Yeah, I've qualified. I thought, you know what, let's start on the mediums. Let's try and get top 10. I thought I had the pace for it, but turns out I just got pushed out. And then I was just pushing towards the end, and I just pushed too hard around the last corner, and it took me too wide. That barrier isn't there that Bottas would have hit, but I went wide enough that it invalidated me, and I ended up starting P13.
Mm-hmm. And it was definitely a grid, but maybe it kind of helped you because knowing the chaos in lap 1, how it was such a bloodbath, it looked up. So I guess my next question is, looking at lap 1 from your driver's perspective, even though you weren't tactically in it, what was kind of going through your head? Because a lot of drivers up front were just elbowing out between Bezier, Jay, Reds, King, and I think even Trop. They were all fighting, and you were kind of a little bit back. What was kind of going through your head when you're seeing this? Do you think, oh no, I should back up here? If they collide, I don't want to be involved? Or is driver instinct just to keep going and just hope you can try to survive it?
My initial thought starting P13, I wanted to gain a few places at least, which by I think turn 3 or 4 I was up to P7, so I had a really good start. And then I know there's a few aggressive drivers in here, like that's just their driving style, but I knew there was going to be fighting up top, so I sort of just stayed back a little bit, tried to preserve the medium tyre to go as long as I could, and just I had the stream up, and I was hearing all the penalties coming through, and I thought maybe this isn't about the pace now, maybe this is about preserving the tyre and trying not to get any penalties, and I just about managed it. I had 2 warnings, so I managed to just scrape it through without a single penalty.
You actually stole the next question on my mouth, because I was going to say, with a lot of drivers getting penalties and a lot of drivers ringing up 3s, 6s, 9s, you were one of the only drivers, along with you and Connor, to keep it clean throughout the whole race. So, as a previous driver myself, I know for an instinct when people start racking them up, you're like, all right, need to back it down, play it conservatively. So I guess my question was, does it go in your mindset that fast or conservative? But I guess you wanted to play it conservative, knowing that sometimes it's not always about the pace.
Yeah, definitely. I know someone, some people might know him, called Let's Get Fiscal. He's another driver, and that's his sort of aim. Instead of going 100%, go 90%, preserve tyres, and also try and stay off penalties, because at the end of the day, penalties cost you so much. So that was just my thoughts. And then when the rain came, that was interesting. I didn't even look at the forecast. I didn't even have a chance to look at it before the race started, so I only found out about 10 minutes before it came, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to hold on to these mediums.
And I guess my last question is I'll ask one more, and you keep prolonging me, so maybe I have to come up with some harder questions. With the rain coming down, my last question was that it caught you off by surprise, I see. But knowing that, did you even think possibility to try to limp it around the mediums, or you thought it's going to get too wet, I have to pit?
No, yeah, I didn't even think about taking the medium. My mediums, when the rain came, they were just about to hit 60%, so there was no chance I was going to make it to the end.
Yeah, we did actually spitball in the booth, wondering if you could, but I guess that confirms that you were not going to be able to make it. So you would have to pit regardless. So I guess the rain actually did help you there. Maybe you were hoping more for a safety car, but tomato on either retrospect. But podium is still a podium. But thank you for joining us here today, Lesty, and hopefully you will do well next week in Brazil. As actually, no, Reds just joined, so we're going to have to ask our driver in second some questions as well.
Well, thank you very much, and GG to everyone else, and shout out to Disco Stu and Hiddy in the chat supporting me, so appreciate it, lads.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you. Now we got Reds, who finished second. Again, quickly, just to make sure, this may not be your first rodeo, but just to make sure you go into parties, go into party settings, and make sure it's your voice is allowed to all, basically, so we can hear you. Always allow your voice to be shared, always allowed. All right, now we are good for the questions. So we'll keep this quick and brief because we don't want to go too long here. But again, thank you for joining us in the booth here. So I guess the first main question would be is that, again, we'll go through qualifying real fast. You put down a good time in qualifying. You got third, and then you were about to set another lap there, but you pulled in the pit lane with about 30 seconds left. So why did you pull in the pit lane? Did you not feel comfortable with the lap, or did you maybe kind of cook the tires too much?
No, if I remember correctly, I invalidated the initial lap that I did, the lap before I pitted in, and I didn't have the fuel load to go and do another lap.
Okay. So the fuel load issues were the main concern there. Okay, because we wondered, but I guess you invalidated it. It does answer a question. So second question is that on lap one, from the booth in question, lap one was pure chaotic, and you were in the middle of it. So as someone that knew, like, you have to be conservative here, because if you get crashed out, your championship hopes are basically none. So how was the fine line between aggressive and conservative? Like, what was going through your head? Like, just do what I have to do, or maybe let them fight and see what happens?
The main thing I was thinking was to just let them fight, because if I sit off it, they fight, they're going to get the worst off of it, and then that's just an opportunity for me to pounce and go on ahead, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so you were just playing conservative there, okay? Because I figured, again, because that's something I would have done if I was in your shoes. But some drivers, if they go conservative, it kind of monks with their head, and if you play too conservative, it kind of can take you out of your flow. So I was kind of wondering. So we only got, I think, one more question here, and this will actually be involving the rain here. When the rain came out, were you surprised by the rain? Because we know Lesty didn't take the chance to check the forecast. So when you were there, were you kind of concerned about the rain, like how the car will handle, or did you feel like I'm comfortable regardless of the conditions?
No, I was a little bit comfortable with it, because just before the race, I checked the race weather just to make sure, if there was going to be any rain or anything. And since there was at the end, I decided to just tinker with the setup a little bit, just so the car is easier to handle during those conditions.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I do have one more question, because I just popped mine. With 2 rounds to go and you only being about 5 points back, how are you feeling with the next 2 tracks of Brazil and Abu Dhabi? You feeling like they're good tracks, or are you feeling kind of concerned?
I'm feeling confident around them, yeah.
Okay. All right, I guess that will take the questions here. We are done. Thank you for, again, joining us here, Reds. Hopefully you have some good rounds here, and you hope you can make it an interesting championship for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you. And that will do it for us for today. Sadly, our leader cannot get in here, so that will end the broadcast here. Liam, are you still here? Because you can want to say something before we sign off? All right, so Liam, you want to just say anything before we sign off?
Well, indeed, and I will say thank you very much for having me back, Pepsi, after a few weeks of death and destruction.
Hopefully you can join us for the next 2 rounds as well. It's Brazil at same time it was last week, and Abu Dhabi. And with the championship still closed, both in drivers and constructors, anything is possible. So make sure you tune in next week, and hope we see good chaos here again. But until then, that is Liam. I'm Pepsi. Thank you, and good night.